5 seconds. Cue titles on 3. Cue music.
Hello, welcome to John Coombs Online, episode 4. Starting to get the hang of it, although there's always a bit of a panic before things go live, as you know, I'm sure, out there. So yes, guten Abend and bonsoir and hello in Spanish if anyone's watching from Spain. Tonight, I'm going to be drawing some tools, or a tool. I'm going to be drawing a spanner. We've got a spanner here. It's not going to be this spanner though. I've got another spanner on my door. As I've said, I don't pick it up because it's all sorted out. For our international audience only, heute Abend sind es Werkzeug. But before we kick off, I said last week I was talking about drawing and how drawing helps me. It helped me with my games design, helps me now when I'm building bits to the house. So I said I would show you some of the ones. So here's the sketchbook. That was a quick drawing for some underpinning I did, concreting down in there. And we've got other drawings of stuff in here for, hello Simon, there's Simon Jones's plumbery for you there, Simon. But yes, I do the drawings to work out in my head how things are going to fit, how things are going to go. You know, sometimes it's complicated sort of pipes. Which way do the pipes go? Which side of the wood? What do I need to do? What do I need to measure? And another little drawing there. And actually, I really enjoy doing these little drawings, and the time it takes me to do the drawings and find the measurements really helps me work out any problems that are going to be there, and helps me to work out how to do all the construction. It's easier to build it when once you've drawn it. Let's see who's here. We've got a lot of people here. Daphne, hello Daphne, up there in wherever you are. Skipton, by the canal, lovely place. And Tim, hello in Halifax. Must stop touching my nose. Hi Tim. Monty, hello. Merowyn, good evening. Merowyn is here. And Simon Jones, bonsoir, sir, monsieur. Here's to Mr. Jones. Tonight's episode is brought to you by a very fruity Rioja. Astroblaze is now Astroblaze Animations, and with a bit of skullduggery and digging around and general stalking and things, I can say hello Meg there. And Manuel, guten Abend, Manuel. Good to see you. So this week, we talked a little bit last week we talked a bit about the way the lines can get confusing and they can be interpreted in different ways. When you make a drawing, when you do a drawing, you lay yourself open to other people's interpretation. And I've been posting on Facebook pictures from my notebooks, quite often from my art college notebooks from many years ago. And this week I posted a picture of several quick sketches of figures crouching, jumping, leaning. And Susie Ramsden said, a good friend, said she loves these. She's got a favourite, and I thought, well, which one which one's her favourite? So I asked her her favourite, and this was her favourite. And she said, maybe it's not for everybody. And sure enough, Caroline came in and said, no, this was her favourite. She thought it looked like a young child striding around in grown-up shoes, which I can sort of see there now. Obviously, that's not what I intended at the time. They were just quick drawings with a view to finding some sort of composition. I do a lot of that. It's also like exercises. You can't just dive straight into a drawing. Today I've been doing some drawing to get my eye looking and seeing, because as I said before, we don't see, we just recognise. So I could just briefly take you back thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years, to Africa. We've just come down from the trees. We've been wandering about this planet, Monty, by the way, for 3.5 million years, apparently, give or take a million years. And for the first 4,499,000 years, we were really just basically concerned with staying alive. And our brains, that's what our brains were doing. And that's what our eyes were doing. So we learnt this ability to recognise whether we were lunch or what we were looking at was lunch in a split second, in a nanosecond, as the grass moved and there was a sort of shadowy figure behind it, something was moving behind it. We could work out whether we could eat it or it could eat us, and whether we should run away or run towards it in a split second. And all this information was processed before we were really conscious of it in our brain. They say there are two optical areas of the brain. One is a sort of an unconscious area of the brain, and one is a conscious area of the brain. One is the one where we actually see. One is the one where we have the little chap inside the head looking at this picture and telling us what it is. And the other one is a subconscious one. If the first one gets damaged, you become blind. Yet they've done experiments with people who are blind because of injuries to a certain part of their brain, and they've shone a torch which the person can't see, but they've said, can you touch it? And the person's reached out and touched where the light is. So subconsciously they can judge where the light is each time, even though they can't actually see it. So this is all the weird stuff that's going on. And Tim says hello. Skipton, yes, Skipton, I was right. Say hi to Lisa. Lisa's watching. Thank you. Well, very good. Yes. Good. Hello, welcome, Lisa. Every week you've been tuning in, and I've been duly ignoring you. Last week, somebody was tuned in on Facebook and commenting, and it wasn't them. They were on their wife's account. So if Lee is watching, or indeed Lindsay, hello there to Lindsay. Greg, hello to Greg. Monty's questioning the millions there. This is the man who thought that. No, I won't say. It's still a long time, yes. No, you see, Monty, they reckon we came down from the trees about between 3 and 4 million years ago. But while we were up in the trees, we were doing a bit of evolving. So about 7 million years ago, we started to move away from the apes and become, starting to shave in the morning and that sort of thing. So, hello everybody. Right, I'll tell you about Edward de Bono in a little while, but first of all, we're going to try and, I have got something else to show you, because this business of recognition is really, really important for drawing, because when you look at something, and if you try and draw it, all you're drawing is what your subconscious brain is recognizing. And one of the tricks, if you like, I do when I'm doing my drawing workshops is to get everyone to draw a figure, a person, in 5 seconds. So draw a person in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And pretty well without fail, they draw this. And they have a head, 2 legs, and 2 arms, standing like that. And no one ever over the last 10, 15 years I've been doing the workshops has drawn somebody sitting down, drawn somebody lying down, because that standing figure, whoa, I can do it. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what you see when you see me like this. That's what you see. So when you try and draw my hand here, you're actually putting it there. So it's really hard to draw that. Same with legs. Someone sitting down, you try to make them stand up because your subconscious brain is really sending most of those messages in there. So it's really difficult to look beyond the recognition and see. So, having said that, I will now try and see, if you'll pardon all the puns and things, see if I can see. We've got a spanner somewhere. There we go. A modern spanner. It's got lettering on it. It's got all sorts of detail in it. It's got lots of clues to being an adjustable spanner, which we will attempt to get some of these down as we go. Let's see what we can do. Might be quite a bit of moving of the sketchbook, Tim and Lisa there. Hello, Riona. Riona's joined us. Hello, Riona. Good. Welcome on Facebook. Yes, most people seem to be looking at this on Facebook. Oh, hello. Guess who clicked the wrong button? Never mind. Let's play the draw cam. There we go. Right. So we've got the spanner. There's the spanner. This is what we're going to draw. Eventually, I'll put the spanner up on the screen as well, but not straight away. Now, we've talked about pens. I don't know if you can see this. It's a beautiful pen, Graphic Rotring. And if you're watching Mr. Jones, we've been through this. But look, it's empty, which is great because it doesn't make lots of marks. It works, but only just works. Having said that, it'll probably run out completely while we're doing this drawing. As we can do with these things, we can put a bit of music on while we're drawing. Perhaps. So we've got a... If there it is, it's working, I think. And we're going to come across the page. Now, the thing about these... There's the music, yes, I think. Can you hear music, everybody? I hope you can hear me. The thing about tools, which is a little bit funny, unlike fruit, tools have got lots of straight lines in them. So you've got to really plot things out. And also we've got to fit in the page. So you've got to sort of measure things out and work out where they're going to be compared to the drawing. Now, there's a rope coming over there, isn't there? So that doesn't want to be particularly like that. But the rope is... So we've already started with a bit of an issue happening there. So we'll just get that happening there. We'll lose that line. You can lose lines pretty well within the scope of a drawing when using ink and pens and things. I've been told by my runners that the music is very quiet. So I put the music up a bit. Thank you very much. I have a whole team working here, ensuring that everything gets to you in tip-top condition. And Hannah's just come in and said that the music is very quiet. So we're first of all trying to get it into the, so it's going to fit on the page. We've also got a big knot to come in down here. And we've got the stuff to go around there. So before you start drawing in earnest, you've got to think about where things go in terms of fitting on the page. Now, I don't know, for some reason I was very nervous today with the idea of drawing tools, because fruit, bananas, pears, and flowers are incredibly forgiving, even if I have a picture of what I'm drawing on the screen. But tools have got straight lines which got to connect up, and you can't sort of fudge that. So it's a little bit more precise you've got to be. But we'll persevere. We'll persevere. We'll give you the split. There's what we're drawing. There's what I'm drawing. Lots of different angles. I wonder if Gareth is there. Gareth Jones, has he woken up? He always. I'll actually have to text him and see if he's there. Excuse me 1 minute. Right. Now we've got a gauge on here. We've got some measurements. I don't know how accurate they are, but we've got some measurements on this line, which is quite nice. It gives some detail. It's one of the difficult things about drawing tools is that, now this is the actual jaws, I beg your pardon, this is the actual jaws, which are parallel, obviously, to work, to fit a nut, to get the actual tools working. You know, you need this bit here, and so those two are parallel. They have little bits in and amongst it and things. Obviously, these aren't the ones I'm drawing. So these are clues which you've really got to get right. So, but then it's the detail. It's the detail. The devil is in the detail. Is that something somebody says? I don't know. Maybe you can tell me. And then from this hard machined edge, which is, you know, the working jaw of the tool, you've got this big sweeping curve. So the adjustable spanner, clay on clay for your English. I don't know what it is in German. Manuel, write in the comments what it is in English. Write in what it is in German. But it's lovely to have the mixture of lines, details in a drawing. So we're starting to get the business end of the spanner, the adjustable spanner. We've got all sorts of tricky stuff going on down here. We've got something coming over here. Music is still quiet. Oh, that's because the spanner went on that. It's on full now for some reason. Manuel, under the guise of Rita, Guten Abend Rita. Thank you, Jacob. And yes, I've got that on. My runners are coming in with lots of messages for me, only to make the watching process better for you. So, details coming in here of strange elements Obviously for an adjustable spanner, it needs to be not unreasonably adjustable. So at that point we need this screw, and there's a screw thread which runs through here, which is attached to that. So that is attached there, and then this jaw is attached to this thread here. And then that thread is attached to a sort of knurly knob, a knurly wheel here, which has got some machining on it, which enables you to turn the thread. And then that in there is quite dark. So these are the details of the device. The picture you're seeing in the top is not absolutely what I'm seeing, because as I've tried to mention before, when I turn the picture around, there we go. So now, Tim, I've turned it around so I can use my hand to get me to follow what I think is going to be this. And sometimes you get up and look differently at the subject matter to find out how it all goes. So there we are, coming down there. So we're starting to get the spanner. We haven't done the rope yet. I need a bit of a break because it gets a bit intense. It gets a bit intense doing all this drawing. So it's time to look at another optical illusion to show you how your brain fools you, how your eyes fool your brain maybe, I don't know, or your brain fools you, or at least fools the little man that's sitting inside your head looking at the screen upon which are projected the images from your eyes. So here, if you look around this image, if you look around the outside, the inside of the image will judder, move. It isn't moving, it's an absolutely still image, there's nothing moving there. But because of the way the focus goes and the way the outside is, it looks like it's moving. And again here now, I don't know if you can see this, but if you scan your eyes around this image from side to side and top to bottom, they might just turn slowly. Look at that center line of dots and look around. You'll find it's not working for me that well. Maybe digitally it doesn't work as well as it does in actual life on paper. But these are optical illusions which are caused by the discrepancies of complementary colours, red and green, which are making our eyes a bit confused. So you've got all sorts of things to contend with, and you've got to put down on the paper, oh, it's him again. Why do I keep going to him? I know why I keep going to him, because he's called Drawn Man, and the camera that I'm using to show you the drawing is called Draw Cam, and Draw Cam and Draw Man is too similar. Makes a note, so not to say that last time. So you've got to put the marks down on a bit of paper which are going to give you the clues as to what's going on, and you've got to make it pleasing. There's something built into our brains, the aha factor, which when we spot through the grass that it is in fact a grazing antelope and we might possibly be able to have it for lunch, although we didn't. We spent most of our time catching slow things, hedgehogs and worms and things like that. I'm sure we didn't go for the fast things. Good grief. Until we developed nets and we went out hunting in groups. But anthropology is another strand. for later. So you need to get something pleasing on the screen. And there's an artist that I really, really like. He started in the 60s, called Jim Dine. He started doing happenings in the 60s, which was where art was in the 60s. They were doing performances. And then in the 80s, he started drawing. In the 70s, I think, actually. I saw some of his drawings in London in the late 70s. And he started drawing tools. His father owned a hardware shop, and he was always fascinated by the tools there. So he drew them with great precision. Now he's using charcoal on really, really thick paper, and he draws over it and over it and over it, and he makes these dense blacks and this absolute sharp distinction between the black and the white there on the top jaw of these adjustable spanners. I think this is called a footprint, I'm not sure, nearly. And this guy really impressed me with his ability to put this black on the paper and keep the white really, really clean and keep the lines very precise, which, as I've said, tools are incredibly precise. They've got straight machined edges, yet he's got something alive in there. He's got some flow, he's got something softer going on, something more beautiful, splatters. He sometimes, he draws marks, he rubs them out, he draws them, he rubs them out. He'll use sandpaper to get rid of the image. He'll use angle grinders sometimes to get in there. So I like his way of making, he's not just drawing absolutely the spanner. He puts the spanner someplace in a context of light and dark, action. He's got great big intuitive marks, he's got angry marks, he's got quick marks, he's got very precise marks. And I think it's that makes the aha factor. People always ask me, what makes a good drawing? What is it about a drawing? Why does it work? People do drawings and they say it's wrong. Well, it's not wrong, it's just not working yet. And it's the way the marks go down. As I've said before, it's leaving the gaps, allowing your mind to fill in those gaps. And then by recognizing them, you get that aha moment. Oh, look, it's a spanner. Oh, I can see where that's going. So let's get on a little bit more. As I say, I was, for some reason, very nervous about drawing a tool tonight. How are we doing over here? Ooh, blimey, I've lost everything. I'm just going to. Oh yes. Oh, my little runners are coming in telling me I should put the split screen on so you can see what I'm drawing. Yeah, so I'm just going to look at some comments, see if anybody else is... it's working here fine. Oh, right, there was no music and now there is music, Merowyn says. That's good. And there's more comments coming in. Yes. Is there any magic happening yet, Daphne? This is what I want to know. So let's go back to the drawing. Let's go back to the split screen so you can see what it is I'm trying to do here. I have to say, because I keep breaking off, I am losing some continuity of, certainly continuity of thought, but continuity of line. So it could get a little bit woolly. Shouldn't do, but it could do. Now we've got a screw there, which is working in a very strange way. Verticals are always vertical, but horizontals aren't. So you've got to, well, there's no verticals on here, are there? Don't know why I said that. Verticals are always vertical. What a stupid thing to say. not at all. So we've got this screw thread, and would you know, I did the screw thread wonderfully earlier on when I was practicing this, and I thought, oh, that's good, it looks like a screw thread. But it probably isn't going to this time. It's also very small, this area, so it's really quite complicated. I've got a new pen, ladies and gentlemen. I've got a new pen, a brush pen, but it's a very fine brush pen. I thought I might use this to put some of the dark in, because you can have very fine points, but good blacks and things coming in there. So I thought I might just use this for a few of the highlights, particularly when we get to this point here, right up there. I'll get back to a bit more back to that. So, you heard a noise there. That was something coming in from somewhere. I don't know what it was. People sending emails. Nothing great going on there. So back to this. We've got the handle there. I'm going to leave that for a bit. The difficulty, you'll see this here, this is starting to send the wrong signals. It's not making it a straight line, so I've got to make that a straighter line, and I've got to come out of the dark black into this. Now, this is true cross hatching because I'm crossing over. And there we are on that side. Remember, heavy lines come forward. Paler lines go away. And then there's a bit of stuff happening here, which is a sort of I think my pen really is running out, which is no bad thing. Now I've got this writing in here. I'm not going to go with the. I'll suggest the writing because you know it's there. So we've got to do. You should endeavour, but you don't complete it all. You don't have to get it all absolutely right. As I've said, there's no right or wrong about this sort of stuff. It's just whether it works or not, and that's the hardest thing to judge, whether or not you need to put the writing in to make it work. Maybe we can just have a sort of a hint of what's a good typography here, Mr. Jones. I hope you're appreciating my hand lettering at an angle. It's rubbish, isn't it? It's rubbish. Simon Jones, graphic designer, typographer, chairman of the Holmfirth Typographical Society, no less. Right, now we'll come along here. We've got an edge there, so I'm just going to put a bit of, first of all, shadow in there. Then we've got this strange pattern, which is a wobbly line on a curved surface. I haven't really got a chance of getting this, have I? And that, oh, there we go. I suppose that's not bad. That's not bad. This one comes in from the top, disappears to the edge, comes in again to meet that one, and it says Magnuson in there. I really don't know whether I'm going to put Magnuson in. Answers in the comments, please. Should I put Magnuson in? I don't know. Thank you, Daphne. There is magic occurring. We've reached the state of magic, a state of grace, perhaps. Actually, this is all black, isn't it? Now, I'm not going to go heavy black on this. It would be too much. And the other thing about these blooming tools and whatnot is, you know, as I've said, the tools are machines. They're made by machines. So a circle is a circle, and everything's spherical. And when it's on its edge, you know, you've got to be. A daisy has a sort of degree of symmetry with petals, but you can be very, very cavalier about drawing a daisy. A pear is all over the place. You know, you're not going to come along and pick up the pear I'm drawing and say, you haven't got that bit exactly right. But you can look at this spanner here. You can look at this spanner and go, oh, well, I think the handle's not quite as rounded as that. I don't think he's got that quite right. So it's possible, I don't know, is it possible to get the drawing of a spanner wrong? No, still no, because it's an expression. So let's get back there, let's get back to the drawing. I'm only going to make a hint at this Magnusum. Jones, please, I'm not going to write Magnusum, am I? I mean, it's just ludicrous. And also, it's in an appalling typeface, which I totally refuse to adhere to. So I mean, what can you do? What can you do? It's far too big as well there. Oh, looks like Meg, there you go, that's for you. Then we've got a lot of more darkness happening here for reasons only known to the spanner before we come to this rope. Now, he says confidently, now we must tackle the rope that is coming in under here. Again, a rope. It's the same thickness all the way through, all the way down to here. And if you wobble about, you think, well, that can't be. And we don't want to get woolly lines. And we've got one rope which is coming over the top. You know when you get a pair of compasses, it says, shuffling along, when you get a pair of compasses, you've got a fixed point and that creates the arc. Well, we use that. We use a fixed point. You can rest that on the paper, and then when you draw, you create an arc. But like Tiger Woods, renowned for his drawing, like Tiger Woods before a golf shot, you don't just go because you'll miss the hole. You practice a bit first. You think, am I coming in the right line? Sometimes you can put your elbow on and make a really big arc. And you've got to judge that arc. And that is skill. That does come from experience. Drawing is not like riding a bike. Once you've learnt to draw, you can forget. If you don't draw for a year, you come back, you've lost a lot of it. But let's go back to I've got this. It's not a complete arc, as we can see there in the drawing. It comes down, then there's a sort of a bit of a change of angle. So inside there, I can put my hand and I can make, and then I can do that, and then I can just move my hand and I can get a parallel line coming in there. That's all good. Oh dear, it's Bob Ross again, isn't it? It's Bob Ross. Here I am, I shall grow my hair. Now, we have to start thinking, where does this knot start? Well, it starts sort of here, there, and it ends just before that. So it's coming in there in this area. I'm going to have to cheat a little bit because it's actually lower. It's off the page. So I'm going to lie now. Picasso said art is a lie to tell the truth. So we've got a knot. We've got two ropes. And it helps to be able to draw knots. Of course it helps to be able to draw knots. Stupid boy. It helps to be able to tie knots, to draw knots. And then this knot comes down. We've got 2 strings coming in here. Both bits of the rope go into the knot. A bit of a shadow where they're coming in. Another big bit of the knot comes around. Now don't worry that we've got bits of the rope there. That'll all, well, it might disappear. I think I just need to get a little bit of this darkness to give a bit of that shape happening there. Sometimes you need to make things a bit heavier. These are beautiful pens. Lovely, lovely, lovely. That's under there. That's going under there. That's coming over the top. And then there's another one which is slightly smaller. So you've got to keep lots of things in mind. You've got to keep the flow of the knot in mind. It's going that way, it's going that way. These are coming up and over, these are coming out. So you can put lines of direction in. And that's why it's good to have a pen that doesn't always work, because you can make lighter marks. And this, remember, is a continuation of that. So it comes out there, that continuation of that, that's a continuation of that. So these come out here. And it's a sort of frayed end. And another frayed end under there. I think last time I found there were lots of people watching that hadn't said hello. There were more people watching than there were in the comments. So do say hello if you're watching. We will, I think, get to the end of these pens by the end of the... So we've got 2 things coming out there. And then this one comes over the front of that. So the back of that comes in there and gives me that. Now, I will not necessarily complete these because, you know, what's happening here is not really that interesting. What's happening here is interesting. What's happening up here is interesting. I think we're getting somewhere. And again, it's leaving things. We want to try and get the aha moment. So if we make everything too complete, if I join all the dots, for some reason it's not as interesting as if I leave some of the dots, some of the lines incomplete. I feel these should be complete. Again, it's nice to have these little lines which give you the direction. I really haven't got that canary bit working. I'll just make an edge to the handle. And see what's happening over there. Right, well, what do we think? Are we nearly there? I don't know. Have I achieved it? We've got this mark, we've got a sword happening over there, which is, you know, the mark of the... We've got a very accurate triangle there. These marks continue all all the way down here. This is very complicated. We've got this bit which is actually part of that. We've got that bit there. So sometimes things get too much. Now, what I would do, because we're sort of getting there now. So in the Jim Bond, hello Jim Bond if you're watching. Somehow I don't think you are. But to make it perhaps more interesting, more of the aha factor, I'm going to put some of this sort of this darkness in. This is where I completely ruin the drawing. And we look at the shadow that's causing. And we want to take it out. We don't want absolute lines here. Bearing in mind, this is very much, all these drawings are very much an experiment to try and sort of show what is happening. And I don't necessarily want it just to be a shadow. I also want it to be able to throw the light into more detail on the edge here. Remember the Jim Dine, the idea of that dark edge. So you can put in lines which contradict the lines that you've been drawing. I think I've probably well and truly spoilt it there, but if we pick another pen, we can make that more definite in there. The lines are in. Again, I wouldn't normally advocate drawing continuous lines because that will sometimes sort of deaden the drawing. But in this case, with a tool, I think you've got to do that. Okay, and it's now time, ladies and gentlemen, to see the drawings that have been done by the family. Wonderful drawings here by Hannah and Jacob. Thank you very much. That's probably that way around. Maybe that's that way around. I don't know. No, that's that way around. Excellent. The cameras are going back to front. That's why it's so difficult. I keep all these drawings and we'll have a little exhibition afterwards. So, that's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. We will be back next week for episode 5. I'm thinking there might be 6 episodes. It's difficult getting it all together. I will find something else to draw, and it just leaves me to say thank you for watching, everybody out there. What's Greg said here? Yeah, oh, he's got what? Greg, what have you been at the Blue Smarties again? On this day in 1835, after millions of years since the idea of the spanner was born, Solomon Merrick got greedy with, yeah, I don't know what that quite means. But anyway, if anyone else can make that. So goodbye to everyone that's been watching. Thank you very much. And we'll see you next week. Bye.